Rick Hong here for Hollywood First Look Features. We are at the premiere for Just Mercy. The movie stars Michael B. Jordan, Brie Larson, and Jamie Foxx. Let's take a first look.
It is ordered, adjudged, and decreed that Walter McMillian is to face death by electrocution.
This is my dad, sir.
Sit down, young man.
John, I want you to sit down now.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
Please, Judge, hold on one second.
I won't say it again. Sit down.
Not if you gonna kill my dad for no reason. You killing my family, sir, you!
They convicted an innocent man. I was always taught to fight for the people who need the help the most.
You don't know what it is down here. They ain't got to have no evidence.
How many of you all were with Walter that morning?
You ain't quitting, is you?
No, sir.
We all with you.
I saw this back in October, so I was wondering, have you been telling people, because this one goes wide on Friday, so I was wondering if you've been telling everybody, take a box of Kleenex.
I actually have. I say, pack your tissues, but also I think the power of Bryan Stevenson's work, his story, his life, is that as heavy as the material is, as heavy as the story is, it's also encouraging, it's also empowering, it's also enlightening, and you walk away hopeful. So yeah, you're gonna feel a lot of emotions, but I hope you will also feel the responsibility that you now have to make some decisions about how we move forward.
It was about capturing the essence of him, and I heard him tell his story so many times, and the one thing that hit me the most, because if you don't have one-on-one with a person, you got to start looking for traits that you can connect with, and how he spoke about his mother when he lost his mother while he was incarcerated, and to hear a man talk about how much he loved his mom the same way that I do, that's really what I held on, and I knew what type of person it takes to be like that, to be high-spirited in low situations. That told me his character, and I knew I could connect with it because I connected with him on so many other levels. Plus, he's a Yankees fan and he hates the Boston Red Sox, and I'm a Laker fan and I hate the Boston Celtics. So I was like, we're brothers of a different spirit.
Kobe's here, so.
Exactly, we're right here.
So is it more intimidating playing somebody like Anthony or playing your dad?
My dad. My dad for sure, because you got the whole family like, all right. It's a different type of pressure, but I'm thankful that I got my most important, to me at least, and my heaviest role out the gate first. There's nothing that will ever be able to take that movie away from me or my family. And that's the dream role, knock the dream role out first. But when you get to be a part of something like this, it's an honor.
I've always believed that you have to be hopeful, you have to believe things you haven't seen. I grew up in segregation. I started my education in a colored school. They didn't let black kids go to the public schools when I was a little boy. But lawyers came in and made them open up those schools. And, I went to Harvard Law School. I never met a lawyer until I got to Harvard. And that's kind of just believing things you haven't seen. When we started this project in Alabama, I had no idea that we would ever get anybody relieved, but I had that hope. And I think that's what I want people to take from this film, is that we should be hoping, we should be working, we should be believing and demanding a system that's more fair, more equitable, more just. And we shouldn't tolerate these conditions, these circumstances. And if people start thinking and talking that way, I think we can make real progress.
Had an amazing cast. There's talented man to my right. Jamie Foxx is incredible. We had Brie Larson, Rob Morgan, O'Shea Jackson, Karan, Kendrick. We had an incredible cast. We were really lucky to have such amazing actors being able to portray these roles and really care about it beyond the work. Once we wrap, we're still on the road doing press. They're really passionate about these issues. It's a really important movie, so it goes beyond set for us. And I think that was really important when we put this team together.
I read that you recruited Jamie Foxx for this particular role.
That's a big brother, man. I've been a fan of his for a really, really long time. He's known me since I was about 18. Picking up the phone and calling him. You know what I'm saying? He's always giving me advice, always kind of mentored me in a way. So, I called him up, and this is something that I wanted I wanted people to remember how great he was. You know, I think this is a movie that gave him the right tools, the right vehicle for him to show that, and I think he killed it.
I was just wondering, when you were researching, what was your best resource for this? Because I know Walter McMillian wasn't alive because he died in 2013. So I don't know if you used Bryan Stevenson as the guy that to guide you playing him.
Most definitely talked to Bryan Stevenson. I wanted him to tell me what Walter was like on death row. I've visited death row before. It's a different place. And when you visit death row, the worst thing you can give an inmate is hope. So I said, how did he deal with it? He says, to be honest with you, Walter gave other inmates hope, which is good and bad. It's like, for a black man to take that on and to just, in a sense, think that maybe this is what's supposed to happen to him because of who he is. Was sad and at the same time enlightening when it comes to putting the character together. And then once I had that, and aesthetically we look alike. We have the same cheekbones, the same diamond head, and everything like that. But he gave the other inmates hope, which is sort of a little bit of my DNA about having that sort of internal joy. And then my father, who had been taken away from me for $25 worth of illegal substance for 7 years. I could draw on that. This man taught me how to play tennis. Black man teaching this young black kid how to play tennis. So I was growing up like Aileen Nastasi, Vitas Gerulaitis, Bjorn Borg, John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, Yannick Noah. You know what I mean? Were my heroes. But to have him taken away, and then finally I wrote him a letter because I don't like visiting jail. I said, you get out, I'll save your life. He's been living with me for 20 years. We got a chance to go to the U.S. Open now, see Venus play, you know what I'm saying? So I used that DNA for what Walter McMillian was going through, a person who didn't think his life was going to change, and then in walks Michael B. Jordan, who's depicting Bryan Stevenson, and something wonderful happened.
What about the Oscar possibility of this role?
Oh, listen, anything that is bestowed upon this is not individual. It's for this whole, it's for Michael, it's for Destin, it's for Bryan Stevenson, it's for everybody out there who's ever been disenfranchised, because I think we share it, because I want everybody to go see the movie.
The movie is in theaters everywhere, January 10th. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Karan.
We with you. We all with you.
Your life is still meaningful, and I'm gonna do everything possible to keep them from taking it.